Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? What? Did I hear a groan? I said, how's everybody doing? That's what I heard. Well, first off, welcome everybody to the Trilogy Blue 35 Plus. We're here on the set of the Price to Sell podcast with Dave Hutchinson and my boy Matt Campoli.
It's actually the Finest States podcast. I'm your host.
Dave,
what's your podcast?
We want to start a podcast.
Dave doesn't have a podcast, but he's constantly a guest on it. He's mooching.
You guys
Mooching
get free
everybody's content.
It's called free content. That's what that's about. I highly suggest it, actually. You don't have to pay anybody. It's great.
There you go. This talk is over. That's the biggest
Yeah.
takeaway of the entire event. Be a mooch, get on podcasts, and get that free content.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyways, we're here to talk about the power of media in building relationships and authority. I know that's not the exact time, but that's exactly what you're going to be walking away with, that's for sure. How do we want to do this? Because you and I are hosts, and you're the guest. Do you want to be the host now?
Here's something with this, man. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. If it wasn't for you, we'd just be sitting here reading Matt's iPhone. So I'm trying to keep over here right now.
Like, she's what I mean.
Well, you know what? We've been trying to get together for days. And we keep missing each other's appointments that we've booked.
We booked 3 appointments to figure out. No, I shouldn't say that. We're super prepared. We got really good content for you guys. I think first and foremost, one of the things that bothers me about when I come to these conferences to learn is when speakers don't give you any actual tangible takeaways. So what we thought about and the way we've curated this talk is that we wanted to have everyone here be able to take away at least 1 or 2 proper tangible takeaways that you can implement in your business the second you leave here today. So hopefully we provide some value and again, let you take away something that's actually super very important. So.
And who here loves using social media for their business?
Oh, good one person.
You're a great one person. Who absolutely cannot stand it? That was a very good one.
I think it's more people that can't stand it.
Yeah. We want to help you guys like it a little bit more.
So, I think when the Buzz Conference first came out, one of the biggest topics was social media, how to use it, how to grow it. And then the last Buzz Conference, I don't know if anybody noticed, but nobody talked about social media at all. And there's a reason for it. And now the reason why I feel like, Virginia has chosen us 3 is because if you're not using social media in a professional manner to actually use it to grow your business, then I'm sorry, what the hell are you doing? Why are you even on it? And, we had a speaker come to our office the other day and asked us what our most used app on our phone was. All of us said Instagram or Facebook, but nobody said their CRM. And so the thing is, I take a look at that and I say, okay, so we're obviously investing a lot of time into social media, but who's actually getting business from it? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I think my brother Matthew Campoli is going to kick it off.
Yeah, I'm going to kick off some questions. So thanks, everyone, for coming to my Price to Sell podcast. I have Dave and Andrew here. And what a lot of people struggle with is like an angle with posting content. So this question is for Dave. What is your angle when posting content? Why are you laughing at me? That's his answer, guys.
Oh, that was good. That was really well thought out. So I think the cool thing about all of us, you're such an idiot. The cool thing about all of us, I think, and the reason why, again, we're on the stage together is that if you've noticed, and I'm sure not all of you follow us or don't know who we are, but we all have different angles for sure. So the way I've grown my social media and the way that I use social media myself to grow my business and to, build my brand and to generate income from social media, I don't post. I think a lot of people here are probably like, is this guy even a realtor? I really don't post much real estate stuff. I post more about my plants, my dog, working out, driving, and that's pretty much it. I do
Toronto rants.
I post a lot about who I am as a person, and I genuinely believe that, again, after analyzing my analytics on my social media, but I believe that people are buying me, not what I'm selling. So I'm selling myself. So what I do is I post more about my day-to-day than posting just sold, just leased. Of course, I'm posting that I'm a realtor. People know I'm a realtor on my social media. I do post, what I've done, what I'm doing when I'm staging something, if I'm driving to showings, whatever. But the majority of my social media is about building trust with people, building a relatable brand that people feel comfortable reaching out to me to start up a conversation. 99% of the conversations that I start with people on social media have nothing to do with real estate. Zero, actually. Most of it's about plants, dogs, Toronto. And then from there, they follow me, we build a relationship, I nurture that relationship, and then they feel comfortable enough to talk to me about real estate because they view me as relatable. So that's the angle that I've chosen that's gotten me success with social media. Did I answer that?
You did great.
Thanks.
And you posted on your story, right?
Yeah, can someone cut that up and give me a free reel from that? Because I think I nailed it.
And these are all story posts.
Yeah. I don't really post on my feed that much. I do, and I'm trying to post more on my feed, but I would say majority of my posts are my stories. Just trying to get people to talk to me, engage with people. I know what people like to see based on my analytics of my social media, and I'll double down on that. So that's what I post, mostly stories.
Love it. So on my end, I like to leverage my analytics in my social media. So when it comes to my business, I treat it like a business. I like to look at social media like geofarming. So a lot of people who geofarm, everything I post is like a flyer I send out to my audience. And when I do post my just listed, just sold, and all these things, because I post a lot of funny things too, I'm sure you guys see. But when I do take it to a listing presentation, I do want to have some sort of proof that does back the idea that, yes, this guy does produce still, right? Because there's so many realtors out there, so many people on social media. It's like, how do you stand out? Okay, cool. The content is different. Great, that's one angle. But you're also producing. That's just my personal view on things. And I love to leverage my social media analytics in listing presentations. And I've won a lot of them by doing so, because I can show them an actual tangible number on how many eyes I'm getting on all my properties. And that's why I like to make my listing videos, because a lot of my clients get excited and they know that they're gonna get X amount of views or X amount of people that are reaching my profile to see their listings. And that to them, that's value, especially in this market, because things are not selling in a day anymore. Can't just post a salon and get a listing sold. Can't just post on MLS and get it sold. Another vertical I add is the organic reach and the impressions that I have on my social media. And it works. How about you, Andrew?
Well, I think it is just amazing that we have 3 people up here, 3 middle-aged men, almost, with our gray hairs that we're seeing.
Yeah, it's coming in.
We all have a very same goal, a similar goal. We want to grow. We want to grow our community. We want to make money. We want to help clients. We want to get more exposure for ourselves, our company, our team, and our clients especially. But the difference is that we all use it in such incredibly different ways. But for example, like somebody has a huge powerhouse brand online like Matt does, and he does such a great job with his listing videos, he brings it up into his listing presentation. One thing that you might be surprised to know about me is I don't even bring up my social media in a listing presentation. And there's a couple of reasons why. For me personally, I feel that social media is to some extent, is it not working?
No one heard anything you just said at all.
Woo, this one's better. Here we go, baby.
Start over.
So I think the biggest thing with me is that with social media, I understand the power it has, but I go in a different direction at the listing table. But that's all I wanted to say about that. But so how do I actually, utilize my social media in its many different forms? I try to educate not only buyers and sellers, but the majority of my content is directed to other agents. So although we have the similar goals, different content styles, different ways of how we actually target our audience, like investment, people of Toronto, people who love dogs, I guess. And my focus is heavily into other agents. And so the results for all 3 of us are all the same. We have very strong agent networks. Our agent-to-agent referral game is insane. So there's not one way to accomplish something, But I think the overwhelming similarity is that you get super, super consistent with it.
Agreed. Have you guys
How
seen
many-
our shirts, by the way?
Yeah.
Have you seen our shirts?
These are our first headshots wearing of each other,
Yeah, this is Dave's.
just to show that you all start somewhere.
His hair was about a foot and a half tall.
I wanted to be 6'5" so bad. That's close. I wonder, what's your next question, Matt?
Yeah, what's your next question, Matt?
1 second, guys.
He's on Instagram.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, I was. Okay, so another thing that a lot of people struggle with is quality of content. You know, maybe you're on a budget. Maybe you don't have the budget to start and hire a whole crew. Some people get analysis paralysis.
Oh, man, dude, that was the one.
I nailed it.
I know,
I
that
was
was so happy
practicing
for you,
that
man. Fuck.
for like hours.
We practiced that for about 30 minutes
So,
outside.
do you guys find a difference
Analysis
when posting between whether it's just like an iPhone quality video or hiring an actual team?
I think it also does depend on the platform you're using a little bit, depending on if it's TikTok or Instagram. But honestly, I genuinely find that my engagement is a little bit higher, especially on Instagram when it's just me talking to my iPhone. I don't think, especially if you're not looking to spend a bunch of money, you can get the same results from just flipping your phone around and filming yourself. The one thing to keep in mind is that actually a team member of mine, because she was struggling recently about what to post. She doesn't know where to start. And we went back through my social media, and it was almost super embarrassing. And your first 100 videos are going to be terrible. So just be okay with that. It's going to be like, I hope you don't post it on your feed because you're going to watch it later. It's
I
bad.
look like that.
What?
That.
Yeah, that's what
my
we're doing
first video.
videos like. But yeah, for engagement, I genuinely feel that you don't need a big social media team behind you. Obviously, it helps, but as a new agent, I think you can actually be more relatable if you're just flipping your camera around and having a conversation with people and just talking to your iPhone about what you're doing that day. And TikTok, honest to God, I don't think TikTok, if you post anything curated on TikTok, I genuinely see my most views are the most ridiculous videos on TikTok. Zero professional video behind it. So I think you don't need any of that stuff, to be honest. No, I have one, but you don't need it. Just be honest.
I'm going to piggyback off that.
What's that?
I'm going to piggyback off that.
Yeah.
There's another question. So, okay, cool. Now you decided I can stand out all day and make a face front video on my camera for free. Cool.
Okay.
But what am I posting? So a lot of people don't know what to post, right? Are they posting market stats? Are they posting funny videos? Again, I think analysis paralysis kicks in there too. Some people may have this whole plan of starting, but then they just don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think you really have to take a deep dive and audit, just like you do in your business. Find out where the majority of your buyers and sellers are coming from, right? You do that every month, every year, right? Assess that. So you should do the same thing with your social media as well. So for example, I know that mine is overwhelmingly agents. So you'll never see me, you saw me once actually, maybe twice a couple years ago, but you won't see me doing any market stat videos. It's just, for one, I'm not interested in market stats. There's no good market, there's no bad market, there's just good actions and bad actions. So I don't really care about that kind of stuff. What I do care about is that the value that I'm delivering to my audience is reaching you in an understandable way.
Yeah, I think to add on that too, if you're not enjoying what you're posting, like if you hate posting what you're, like for example, I'm the same as Andrew. What are interest rates at today? I don't, honestly, it's all realtors here. We can be real with each other here. Let's not lie. But I mean, I would get so stressed out being like, shit, like what's the market? How much percentage did it go down from last quarter? Like I got to research this. Then I'd make this horrendous video of me pretending like knowing my market stats when everyone's like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. So I would stress about that because I'm like, I don't want to make that video. I hate making those videos. Yeah. So now I do the videos that I want to make and I enjoy doing it. So it's way more fun. So I stay way more consistent with it because I actually enjoy talking about my nonsense days. I think I'm just bored and I just talk about what I'm doing.
You can call me if you want.
I do a lot. You don't answer that often. Neither of you do.
Yeah, I think after I made my first comical video, which I thought would shit the bed, excuse my language. I thought I was going to get fired off my first listing, whole 9 yards. Ended up being the best thing I ever did. So right away, I was actually blessed to realize, okay, this works for me. And I kept diving into that style of video, and I continue to do so. And yeah, I won't stop doing that because it just works. So, but there was a level of like non-attachment to my videos. It's not like I felt, okay, I posted a video, I need a sale now, or I need a listing, or I need a buyer, or I need some sort of lead to pop in my DMs. I just kept posting. And the beauty of it is that I had a blast doing so. So I didn't care about the business side of things. I didn't care about what was going to come out of it. I just genuinely enjoyed posting, making these videos, collabing with guys like these, and what ends up happening is the business by default. So
I think that's so true and so powerful as well. If there's at least one advantage to collaboration, it's just building a relationship with at least that one person that you're collaborating with. And if you can multiply that by doing things like we all do, I mean, we've done the podcast circuit maybe 3 or 4 times in the GTA, and now, getting into the States as well. And I think with each collaboration that we do, just kind of solidifies our authority with that audience even more.
Has everybody seen? I'll give Andrew some shout out here. Andrew's like the GOAT here, but has anybody seen his like whole thing? I think you should talk more about honest agent to agent referrals, because I feel that a lot of realtors were like, oh, I got to post to sell to my clients that are on here when they're not on there. But you're missing out on a lot of business. I've seen 4 agents here today that I've done deals with that are out of Toronto. And I say out of Toronto, I'm not talking like Miami agents or LA or Vancouver. I'm talking like Durham agents that are like, you couldn't pay me money to go to Toronto, or Niagara agents that don't want to come anywhere near downtown Toronto or wherever you guys are located. But Andrew was the first person that opened my eyes to that you're leaving a lot of money on the table by not interacting with and building relationships with other agents. You don't got to post like teaching every agent stuff, but interact with them. Like this guy's on his phone. You ever seen those memes where it's like, name the one person that if you're someone's holding a gun to my head and you got to call them, they're going to answer. If it's this guy or the DM on Instagram. But you should talk about that.
So yeah, absolutely. I think for one, especially if you're in any type of like a recruiting company or anything like that, I think it's quite obvious when you're trying to directly sell to your audience. And that's why I prefer to take content like this and cut it up. And, something where I'm not actually looking at the camera. I feel like when you're looking at the camera, yes, okay, it might build emotion, but it also helps kind of, maybe people put up their guard a little bit. So that's only one piece of the pie, though. And so how I've been able to manage to get that type of agent-to-agent referral. I mean, last year it was 90% of my personal business was agent-to-agent referrals. Now, how I did that was that, okay, so one piece is the content. The second piece is engaging with every single person who's engaged with you. So for one, it takes a 50 comment count, doubles it to 100. So there you go. You're automatically putting more credibility through organic and engaging comments through your Instagram. But also, man, like for half of my team is driven with me, and they're thankful to be alive. But at the same time, they're in the car with me. How many friggin' calls do I get? I answer. How many DMs do I get? How many reach outs? And it's never, like Dave said, it's not always about real estate. It's about, hey, I'm going to, I don't know why people think I'm like the hotel king. Like, hey, I'm going to BC. What's the best hotel? I don't know, but I'm going to find out for you. And I always do. If somebody asks me a question, I never say, well, shit, man, I don't know. Other question? I always try to find out something for them and lead them into the right direction. And I answer my phone within one ring. Try me.
He's not joking. Send him a DM. He'll answer it immediately. It's amazing.
And here, just take this thing away, especially for Facebook. Like today, comment tomorrow.
yes,
Get that into other people's feed twice. There you go.
community building. Another big thing it's been huge for my career is this agent network that we've built, but the off-market opportunities. The off-markets have been awesome. So if you're working in the commercial space, if you're working investor clients, like everyone wants that off-market deal, right? What have you guys experienced in terms of?
Fuck you guys, man. These guys talk about this in the parking lot. They both got like $30 million buyers. I'm like, I don't know. I leased a fucking condo yesterday off market. That's what I.
219 lease.
I don't want to be a part of this section. Off-market stuff does work, of course, but I haven't had $30 million buyers, so take it away, guys. Fuck.
Yeah, so that's a good tee up for me, Matt, by the way. So I think that just through posting my professionalism, this is how it's worked for me. So I know Matt does more funny stuff, but he also follows up with actual Airbnb results, content, and other investment tips. Where myself is, I haven't done any funny style videos for probably 5 years. It's just not my style. And I think just the way I come off professionally has led me to get the type of business that I get. And so, you know, one of them was actually a $50 million hotel buyer. And we were working with this buyer, it's been 6 to 12 months trying to find a hotel for $50 million. But what it leads into in terms of a network possibility through future referrals through this one client, and, you know, to see that develop from something that we've poured all of our time, energy, and money into, you know, it's very rewarding, and it happens. But I said this on What Would It Cost podcast, guys. Like if I were to pick up my phone today after I just met you all, I just met you at the Buzz conference. As soon as I turn my back, I open my Instagram, and I see a full thread of, I don't know, fishing, hunting, dogs, whatever it is, okay? I go fishing, I go hunting, I'm going for a moose hunt in 2 weeks. But that is not what I do for business. Your Instagram is your business card. I don't have a business card. I've never had a business card my entire career. Ask Andrea. I've got 2 boxes filled with business cards. I don't bring them anywhere. My social media is my business card, and if you open up my social media, you're gonna know exactly who I'm about instantly. And that's my biggest tip for you today, is if I open up your Instagram account, what is it gonna say about you? Do I wanna send you business?
That was a good one. That was a good one. Let's
Practice
hear
that
about
in the
your
car.
$30 million buyer, Matt.
I have 50 business cards in my jacket.
You ever been to a downtown Toronto?
given
You
one out.
just give them to concierge. That's all you do with
I haven't
it.
given one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
But Matt's had success too, right?
Yeah, like I got a DM once as in the requests, and some guy's like, hey, do you do commercial? I was like, in my head, I said no. But I answered yes. And thank God I did that. That actually transitioned into them looking for hotels, and I just posted on my social media, looking for off-market hotels. Translated to a $20 million offer on paper, which didn't work out. But it happened, you know? And I don't know, just the magnitude of that is insane. I've never done that in my life. But that happened from social media just because I answered a DM and I lied and said I did commercial. So, and now I do. So now it's the truth. But it's the whole authority thing, you know, just putting yourself out there that you know what you're doing. It's not like, yeah, I make funny videos, but I like to show my results. I like to show that I'm knowledgeable. I like to show all the things. I am, you know, create like this full package. Hosting a podcast, guys, is a bit of a hack. You know, it does create another
Huge
vertical for you to be an authority figure. Just because you host must mean you know things.
Or just go on people's podcasts, same thing.
Or just go on. So all these things combined, like if you're just hitting it from all angles, you're just naturally going to gain a lot of trust from people. And people are just going to feel inclined to want to work with you, especially if they resonate with who you are as a human. If you're showing up as your authentic self and people can relate to you. Maybe you told a funny joke and they like that joke. Maybe they hate you. And you don't want to work with that person anyways.
absolutely.
You know what else is kind of cool too is that all 3 of us, what you'll see, like you'll find your niche of people that like you relate with, right? And when you're posting who you are on social media, you're going to attract the clients that you want to work with and the other realtors you want to associate with. Like when I was new and started and was doing the welcome to this month's Q2, people were coming at me like with questions. I'm like, fuck, I don't even know, man. Just talk to someone else. But anyways, and then I started posting who I was, and I started getting the clients that were like me and like-minded with me that wanted to work with me, and it was a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable. And that's crazy. Like we're close friends. We've known each other for some time, and it's crazy. Me and Matt will walk places, and me and Andrew, and it's like all of our followers are so much different. Isn't that crazy? You know,
Yeah.
like people that know me and we talk to every day have no idea who you are, vice versa. It's crazy. So you got to find your niche of people that, you know, relate to you, and it's not everyone's gonna love you for what you do. So you also can't give a shit about that, right? It's true.
I do want to interject just quickly though, and we talk a lot about authenticity and being yourself. I do strongly caution that you seriously check that to some degree, and again, just remember that we are professionals, right? And you said it this morning, right? Doctor, lawyers, realtors. So I genuinely believe that I'm as authentic as they come, but there's a lot of crap that I also stay away from posting, even though I really, really want to. And I think that's something that some of us do kind of forget about, especially on TikTok. I see too many professionals, and again, I'm not shitting on your business here, but if your ultimate goal is to get business, trying to hop on trends, although it can help you with virality, it can also hurt if you're hopping on the wrong trends. And, we see that a lot. We say, oh, here's a realtor doing this, here's a realtor doing that. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys, seriously, deep down, think about what do you want? Do you want likes, shares, comments, followers that are going to buy F all from you? Or do you want to build a strong relationship and communal business of like-minded individuals that want to work with you day in and day out for the rest of their lives? And I think that is the most important.
Is that the end? What time we'd go till? How many more questions do you have on your iPhone?
Yeah, we got 7 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Let's go over here, guys.
Pull up the iPhone notes quick, man.
I ran out.
That's it. No.
Okay.
No, I think.
So,
yeah, go.
Right, but for example, Matt's network from the media side of things, like when you started Price to Sell. I mean, how did that help you open doors to not only your network in business, but also networks in other medias as well?
Oh yeah, it's opened up all kinds of doors, and that's the thing too. It's like I went into that without too much of a plan. It was more like an open-minded approach of just surrendering to it all and like, we'll see what happens here, And that was the most beautiful thing.
Well, in like field trips too, right?
Yeah. And
Like that was huge.
So many things that can blossom from just taking a leap and just jumping into something. I actually said no at Price to Sell initially. I said no to my partners because I thought I was busy. 2021.
Ask some questions or
Real
no?
estate was great.
Yeah, go ahead.
But it's the best
we're
thing I
not
ever
allowed.
did. And the amount of doors that have opened up, I couldn't even have guessed if you asked me back then. Like I didn't even know some of the things that I'm doing now even existed, even outside of real estate, a lot of these opportunities. So you guys, you just don't know what one video will do for you or the consistency of
Actually,
just
who
being
has
yourself
like
will
personal,
do for
who
you.
has personal, who has
And the opportunities that will open up
business,
outside of real estate. Like I like to think of
I'm like, who has a
my
personal,
brand is
who
not
has a
Matt
business and
Realtor,
personal
just
account?
Matthew Campoli. That's it. Like whatever opens up to that opens up to that. Am I selling real estate forever in my life? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But I didn't want to just identify as Matthew Campoli, real estate agent. And I thought about that early on. And what's ended up happening is all these opportunities that are outside of real estate. And I'm loving it, right? So, like McDonald's.
I was just gonna say that.
I said it first.
Who in here, like by show of hands, I know I'm not gonna like get engaged with everybody, but who has like a business and a personal account on social media? 3 people, got it. It's amazing. Good results. What are your thoughts from both of you on that, on having a business versus a personal account, and like what are the pros and cons? I don't think it's a great idea. That's just me.
Well, thanks for teeing it up.
Hey, no problem.
Because I actually love no. So here's the thing: you've got every company and every business, especially in today's world, has 2 brands. One, the personal brand, the team lead, the CEO, whatever you want to call it, and the company brand. And they both have to be married beautifully. So where I'm going with this is that I leave all my real estate content for the company page. I save all the real estate related, so all the industry content for my personal page. You might go through and see a few houses sprinkled throughout my page, and that's usually something that's, a special deal. Maybe it's a luxury property. We involve all of our team members in our videos, so when we do videos like that, I always post those as well. But I think that the difference here is I see too many people with their solo agents, and which is great, It's Andrew Perry and then Andrew Perry Real Estate on Instagram. I'll be honest, I don't think there's a point to that. I think there's a beautiful marriage between the two that you can, accomplish with just the one page.
That was good. I think that's a good point. Like, everyone knows Andrew, but he's got like a big team with a bunch of houses for sale all the time, whatever. But if you don't have a big team with a bunch of houses to sell all the time, I personally don't see the value in having a personal and a private account. I think, like Andrew touched on earlier, if you're gonna post on your social media, there's obviously things. I post and talk a lot of random stuff on social media, but I'm never posting like my political views or my religious views on there. I'm keeping it fairly neutral for the most part, so I don't get canceled. But I just don't personally see the value. What about you on that? Having personal and
No, I've always emerged.
But why?
Just because, well, number one, it's one single funnel. That's how I look at it. Just single funnel. It's just not confusing. It's easy. Like, people's attention spans suck. So
Fair.
Like, if you want to send to this page, you'll have my page. My links are there. All my funnels are on my links.
Yeah.
Book calls, Airbnb, book here, this. Join my team. But I'm a big believer in being. This goes back to authenticity. If people want to actually use you or feel comfortable to use you, they want to get to know who you are, and having the personal touch mixed in, they can do that. Versus if I'm just have a real estate page of literally just market stats and just solds and just this is literally nothing about me.
Yeah.
Great, there's production there, but that person still wants to have the knowledge to be able to say, okay, I want to work with this person because I can resonate here, right? So that's how I've always seen it, and it's worked for me. But I am careful. I do tread carefully on what I do post still.
That's a good point.
Right? You do still want to be a professional. Like, I'm not going to post everything I do, So, yeah.
We got 7 minutes yet?
We got 2 minutes.
Oh, thank God.
Let's drag you through the mud a little bit more.
Yeah.
Dave. I just think you gotta be using, I don't want to, again, shit on anybody's business plan here, but, if you're in this business and you're in this room, you're in it, okay, service clients, yes, of course, pat on the back there, but we're here to make money. We're here to make money. And if your goal here is to become a social media influencer, that's totally fine. But how is that going to translate into actual money? Figure that out. That's all I got to say.
One last thing, because I'll touch on this.
I want one more thing too.
I want the last thing.
I thought I said the last thing.
I want the last thing. So, I do treat my Insta like a business. I treat it like a funnel. So I feel like when starting from the first time you get a follow, that person is going to be searching through your profile. They're going to see who you are. Over time, they're going to consistently see you. You become top of mind. Then they start to take a liking to you, hopefully, or else they unfollow you. And it starts to build trust. Then beyond the trust factor, they might start to engage. They might start to like, they might start to comment or DM you. That's when the relationship building phase starts. And from that point, now that you have their trust, now that you have this relationship, when the time comes to them actually wanting to transact on something, like you might likely be that person for them because you've taken them through that consistent funnel, right? And as mentioned before, I do have links on my Instagram, so when I'm posting certain investment things like the Airbnb stuff I do and my personal results with my Airbnbs, I have a direct link to book a call with me regarding Airbnb. And I'm getting like 1 to 2 a week, just organically from my Instagram. People are just on my profile. They're looking on my first highlight, which is all about Airbnb, and all my numbers are there. And right above that is my link, which they click, and the first thing they see is book a call for Airbnb. And I get that. And I've closed many deals like that with investor clients. So treating it like an actual business, like I said in the beginning, like similar to geo-farming an area, is very important. You don't want to just be posting sporadically and not really have any sort of game plan. I think it's very important to kind of create your own funnels using your social media. So that's something I like to do, and I like to monitor that, and it works.
That's it.
Well, that's it.
Oh, I got one last thing. No. That's it.
Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Follow me on Instagram @TheAndrewPerry.
You can buy our t-shirts online.
Yeah, merch.